Annyeonghaseyo, konnichiwa, magandang araw. This is Jansen and welcome to another episode of Sampu-Sampu, where we talk about 10 things about anything and everything. For today, we're gonna talk about 10 mortality-reminding songs. Okay, I have to apologize for the title. Wala na talaga akong maisip na mas maganda. But aren't there just those songs that when you hear them, you just suddenly realize how short life is? Like you realize that from your childhood up until this point, it just happened all so fast and so quick. And from whatever point of life you are in right now, the remaining years just seem so short. There are just some songs that invoke that type of feeling upon you strongly, boldly. And it just makes you speechless and just think about life as we know it. And we're gonna list 10 songs that I know and I know would fit on this category. So without further ado, let's get to the 10 songs. So let's start with song number 10. The song is Dati by Sam Concepcion and TP Dos Santos. We are starting off with a Filipino song. It's a really good song and you might be wondering why I placed it in the number 10, the lowest in the rank. It's because it speaks about a childhood sweetheart, two childhood sweethearts who grew apart, not by choice or by just growing apart, but by distance. Because if you notice in the music video, towards the end, the girl shows a passport, which means she probably flew to a different place and then they grew up separately. So my point is, not everyone can really relate. We can relate to the general lyrics like the part where it says Nintendo or yung matutulog ng hapon tapos sabay nang gigising. Princess Sarah is included and Mylene and Bojo Molina and Jolina Magdangal and Marvin Agustin were mentioned in the song. And especially if you're at my age, it kind of makes you realize how they were a fad before, but now they're kinda not. Those things aren't the things of today anymore. So it kinda invokes that feeling of, wow, life goes on so fast. Number 9 in this song is a 2002 song called Life Goes On by Leon Rimes. You might feel like you don't know this song, but maybe if you hear it, you'll be like, oh, I know this song, I remember. It's about getting into a relationship and then things get awry and then they move on and then the girl's like, life goes on, we have to move on. Now, the song is about that, but there's something about the lyrics that made 9-year-old me think about my life. Yes, 9-year-old me. This song had enough meaning to it that a 9-year-old kid would evaluate his life. That's the music of the 90s, guys, and the 2000s. The lyrics that invoke that feeling on me is on the chorus. It says, life goes on and it's only gonna make me strong. It's a fact. Once you get on board, say goodbye because you can't go back. And I realized that it's not just in the relationship or moving on in a broken up relationship. It's about everything in life that once you get on board and you move on, or whatever it is that you have done for today, for the last week, for the past month, it's already permanent. What you've done is already done. You know, it just gives that feeling that time will continue to pass and you just can't stop it. You just can't bring it back. Every good time that you have before, it's just a memory right now. Even the 1 second before this is already a memory. And there's nothing we can do to get it back because life goes on. And we're starting to go deep here. Number 9 pala. Next, numero 8 is a song by Adele in 2008 called Hometown Glory. Now, it's an Adele song, but you might not know this because this was the time before she was mainstream. I first learned of this song through the program So You Think You Can Dance. And Adele has an explanation for this song, but I kinda interpret it differently. People who have experienced transferring homes would especially relate to this song. Just like some people, naranasan ko nang lumipat ng bahay kasama family ko. And this song is perfect to listen to when you're walking by your old house. Or you're paying a visit, or you just want to see the people that you grew up with who you haven't had a chance to talk to for the longest period of time. Before the chorus, there's a part of the song where it seems like Adele is talking to someone. The lyrics goes like this. Is there anything I can do for you, dear? Is there anyone I could call? No and thank you, please madam. I ain't lost, I'm just wondering. And then it goes to the chorus. Round my hometown, memories are fresh. Round my hometown, the people I've met are the wonders of this world, are the wonders of now. It just gives you that feeling of, you know, walking down your old home and seeing the people you grew up with and then just talking to them and reminiscing about, hey, do you remember when we did this and we ran to this house and we pushed the doorbell and then we ran, like, you know, those crazy stuff that we did before. Next, number 7, numero 7. It's a 2009 song by Honor Society. The song is Where Are You Now? I'm probably sure a lot of millennials know this song. Where are you now? 'Cause I'm thinking of you. I like this song because out of all these songs in this list, even the number 1, it has this grateful, thankful feeling to the lyrics. To my favorite teacher who told me never give up. To my ex-best friends don't know how we grew apart. To the face I see in my memories, where are you now? And then the chorus, where are you now? Because I'm thinking of you. You showed me how to live like I do. If it wasn't for you, I would never be who I am. And that's just the most wonderful thing, being grateful and thankful to everyone who has been part of your life. Whether they did good to you or did bad to you, it doesn't matter because all of those things contributed to who you are right now. And this song is just a really good look back song. The first line of this song, to my favorite teacher who told me never give up, actually reminds me of my elementary school teacher, Mrs. Orsena. And she was my teacher in the first and second grade. She was one of my inspirations why I love mathematics, and I ended up taking engineering and graduating with a degree of engineering. So I really owe a lot of it to her because she was just a good teacher and she just made every lesson lovable, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just, want to thank her. Maybe if I get a chance to meet her again. See, it's really effective. The first line of the song made me think about my past immediately. And before we get too deep, next in number 6 is a song called 7 Years by Lucas Graham, released last 2015. So this song is actually pretty self-explanatory. As far as I know, the song itself is about Lucas Graham, the singer himself, and it doesn't just tackle his life before. It also talks about his life in the future. The very first song that talks about the future in this list. And the heaviest part of the song for me is the bridge. I think it's the bridge. The lyrics is, soon I'll be 60 years old, my daddy got 61. Remember life and then your life becomes a better one. I made a man so happy when I wrote a letter once. I hope my children come and visit once or twice a month. Like in that line alone, it just explains so much, like how he realized that he wrote a letter once to his dad that made him so happy, and now thinking about he's gonna have some grandchildren, he wants them to visit once or twice a month, which technically is a lot more than writing a letter once. You kind of feel the regret that he had, that he should have visited his dad more often, talked to his dad more often, and nothing touches our hearts harder than when it comes to parents. And then especially for people at my age, you just realize that like before you were this little kid who ran to your mom when you had a problem, but now you're gonna be that parent who your kid would run to whenever he would fall down or get wounded physically or emotionally or have some problems. And yeah, it's just in the grand cycle of life. Now you're asking, this is such a good song for this theme, why is it just number 6? It's still a little too personal for Lucas Graham and not like a compilation or stuff that everyone could relate to. That's why it's a little low in the list. And now we move on to the top half, starting with number 5 with Cat Stevens' Father and Son, released in 1970. Okay, first off, the song is actually a dialogue, not a monologue. It's about a father and son speaking, probably not to each other, but they're just expressing their own thoughts during a time that they were having an argument. To easily determine who sings which, because it's just one singer, everything being sung in the low register, I was once where you are now, and I know that it's not easy, is the father. Every part sung in the higher register is the son singing. How can I try to explain? When I do, he turns away again. So it's interesting because it's a contrast between two family members that we could probably all relate to. Have you ever had that feeling as a son or a daughter that no one understands you? Not even your parents understand you. That's that lyrics in the song. How can I try to explain? When I do, he turns away again. It's always been the same old stories. And then comes the father that deep inside, he knows everything about his son because he went through the same things that his son is going through right now. And the song is actually about the son making a major decision in his life, probably marriage, and his father trying to tell him to slow down. You don't have to rush things. And that's where the conflict comes from, which I know everyone could relate to. Like whenever you're this kid who just want to do everything and you just want to jump into decisions based on your emotions, you feel like you could take on the world. And then when you age, you suddenly have that line like, oh my gosh, my mom was right, my dad was right. And just a trivia, do you know the last line of the song? I know I have to go away. A lot of people think that it's the father speaking, like he has to go, his life is gonna end. It's not that way. It's actually the son speaking, telling his father that all my life I've been in your protection, but now I have to make this major decision in my life, and I know I have to go away. Oh my gosh, we're getting so deep right now. And before we start crying, let's move on to number 4. It's a song by Jacques Brel in 1974, but it's made more popular in 1999 by Westlife. The song is Seasons in the Sun. The previous songs talk about your past life, and some of the songs talk about the future or what's coming ahead. This song is unique because the song is actually about death. Huh? Yes, you heard that right. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you just took note of the lyrics. Goodbye to you, my trusted friend. We've known each other since 9 or 10. Come on, who says that to your friend on a normal day? Goodbye to you, my trusted friend. Goodbye, Papa, please pray for me. Goodbye, Michelle, my little one. And in the second half of each of those verses, goodbye, my friend, it's hard to die. Goodbye, Papa, it's hard to die. Goodbye, Michelle, it's hard to die. It's really obvious that this is a song of a person on his deathbed looking back on the life that he has lived. Because to be honest, guys, nothing forces you to look back when looking back is all that you have. Because that's the time you realize that every moment that you have spent on this earth might be the last. And let's be honest, guys, sooner or later, each and everyone in this world would come to this point. And this song is actually a healthy reminder. Sometimes we're just too busy with work, sometimes we're too stressed about things, sometimes we're too happy about things that we tend to forget about other things, that we forget that sooner or later we're gonna leave this earth. And how did we live the life that we had? So this song is actually a good song to remind you that your life is quantified. It's not infinite. It's not the 8th sign that's infinity. It has a limit. It has a value. Just like the song says, we had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. But the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. Or in our case, may soon be gone. Okay, to calm down things a little bit, let's go to number 3. It's a song by Filipino band After Image. In 1995, they released the song Next in Line. I recommend this song to everyone around my age, entering the adulting phase. What's life to offer me when I grow old? What's there to look forward to? What's there beyond sleep, eat, work, in this cruel life? Oh my gosh, I could relate to that line so much. Ain't there nothing else round here but human strife? Cause they say it's difficult, yes, stereotypical. Gotta be conventional, stick to the status quo. You can't be so radical. So I sing this song to all of my age, for these are the questions we've got to face. For in this cycle that we call life, we are the ones who are next in line. Oh, wow. Entering the adulting phase is such a confusing part of your life. You have friends who are starting families. You have friends who have migrated to a different country. The major point of this song is that you're next in line. You're starting to change from that kid who literally doesn't have to make any decisions in his life because everything is spoon-fed to him, turning into this guy where every decision that you make will probably make or break you for the rest of your life. You have to think really wisely because everything that you do now affects each and every person around you. The worst decision that you could make as a kid is probably make a wrong turn on a bike and fall over. Right now, make a wrong decision and it costs you thousands of pesos and dollars, and it might make you bankrupt and hungry for the rest of the week. I mean, you're starting to shift into that part of life where relationships and work and career and everything just comes into play, and you have to make a decision among each and every one of them, considering the other ones and making sure that the outcome is the best of it all, and probably struggling because none of these were taught in school. Responsibility starts to fall on your shoulders. And voila, how time flies. For a moment, you were just a student minding nothing but studies, and now you're this adult person making decisions for you and your family and a lot of people around you. Time flies. Number 2 is a song called Old School by Headley, released in 2007. Have you ever had that time in your life where you just want to call your old-time friends and you just want to go to that certain place that you used to hang out to when you were kids and you just want to reminisce about the past? This song is about that. I'm gonna talk a lot here because I really love this song. Now, imagine yourself with all your old-time friends and you're huddled around in your old tambayan, and then you're circled and you have a guitar and everyone is just singing along. The song starts out like that. It's just purely acoustic. Don't believe everything happiness says. Nothing feels better than hiding these days. We bury our fears in the drinks, in these tears, for the days we believed we could fly. It talks about that feeling that you wish you were a kid again. Be at that time that you believed you could fly, that lyric. That you could just take a rest from all these responsibilities and just be a kid, even just for a day. Now, the next part of the song is really, really genius and Just go with me on this, okay? Call up your brothers and sisters and friends. We'll go back to the place where the night never ends. We'll remember the fires, the burning car tires. Boy, how in the hell did we get here? So the point of that verse is reminiscing. Like, let's come together and have a good laugh and talk about the times that we had before. Do you know what they do in the movies when you reminisce and it goes into a flashback and it's and then everything has music and color in the flashback scene? This song does it so well because in the first part it's just acoustic and it signifies that, you know, you're huddled around playing guitar and everyone singing along. And after that first verse, the drums and the other instrumentation start to come in. It's as if like you're going into an actual flashback. So the instrumentation at that part is just so well done and it's just genius. And then we head over to the second verse of the song, which is actually much more genius. Remember the second half of the first verse? They actually contrasted it in the second verse. I'll read it to you. Over and over and over again, we sat down for a minute, grew up into men. Now we're putting out fires and changing car tires. Man, how in the hell did we get here? And I actually understand that because when we were kids, we were very, very fearless, right? We want to try everything. We didn't care about our bodies. If we get hurt, we really don't care. Actually, we're sure that we're gonna be okay. And I was like that when I was a kid. I would try anything and everything. But in my age right now, even if I see two kids playing roughly, I'll be the very first one to go, "Oy, oy, 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 baka mauntog, baka mapila, itigil niyo yan. Tama na, tama na. Umupo na kayo, tama na. Huwag na maglalaro ng ganyan." And I am just feeling so old. Because I remember when I was a kid, it was my aunt and my uncles who used to do that to me. And now I'm doing it towards the kids, and I'm realizing that, oh my gosh, I'm becoming them. And sometimes you just could help but feel that nostalgia, that bittersweet feeling of looking at the past. It feels happy but it feels sad at the same time. We'll waste away the weekend with perfect regard for how cavalier we used to be, that beautiful insanity, the apathy surrounding me. Now, I know apathy is a slightly negative word, but the way it's used here is, you know that feeling as a kid when you just don't care as a kid? That you really can't feel right now? It's about that. It's really good, old school. And the last song at number 1, I actively avoid listening to this song at all costs, honestly. The band responsible for this song is Five for Fighting. It was released in 2004 and the song is called 100 Years. Every part of the lyrics from start until the end is just pure, well thought of genius. I'm 15 for a moment, caught in between 10 and 20. That line alone, being 15, that's a time of your life when you're too young to do some things, but you're also too old to do some things. And that line, caught in between, is just the perfect word for that feeling in your life. See? It's the first 2 lines and it's already genius. Next significant line for me is, I'm 33 for a moment, still the man, but you see I'm a they. Kid on the way, a family on my mind. And probably a lot of us are going to the next part of our life, which is this one. And then it continues to go on to the different years of your life and, you know, what the stereotypical thing to do at that part of your life. And basically it says that you only got 100 years to live. And to be honest, we really get less than that. Probably 70 or 80. Half time goes by, suddenly you're wise. You know, because you're that old person that everyone thinks you're wise and you have a lot of wisdom. Another blink of an eye, 67 is gone. The sun is getting high, we're moving on. You know that line, the sun is getting high, is meant that you're about to move on from this life. I'm 99 for a moment, dying for just another moment. The use of the word dying is so smart in this part because at 99, you've probably lived a long life and it's about to end and you're dying. But you're also at that point of, you know, you're dying for just another moment to spend with, you know, people you love, people you care for. But of course, we know that there really will come a time that you'll finish that 100 years or the 100% of the years of your life. And the end is actually really good too. 15, there's still time for you. 22, I feel her too. 33, you're on your way. Every day's a new day. That line is actually the conclusion of the song. Every day's a new day. Which brings us to the close of this topic. Life is really short, guys. Whenever I would give inspirational speeches or messages, I would always say this thing. Every second in your life is permanent. If we were to stop time right now and record this very second, there would never be in the entirety of eternity another second that would pass that would be very much the same as this second right here. Because it's unique. Once it passes, it's past. So my point is, All these 10 songs are a good reminder of the mortality of a human being. So make every second count. Do the things that you love the things that you do, go out, have fun, read the Bible, talk to God, talk to your parents, talk to your family, talk to your enemies, resolve your differences, drop your charges, forget about your fights, and let's make our lives worth living. The phrase YOLO is frequently used as a joke, but it's true. You only live once. Once that ends, you can't get one more shot at this life. And given that, make your life a meaningful one. Make your short while worthwhile. And we're going deep on this, so calm down, kalma lang tayo guys. Baka masyadong nagdadrama at nag-existential crisis na kayo dyan. So for each of the songs that I talked about in this list, I'm gonna put them in the description below so that if you would want to listen to them, you just have to go to the description and tap on them or click them. And among all these songs, please listen to number 2, That's My Bias, Old School by Headley. And actually, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching this episode of Sampu-Sampu, and I hope to see you again soon on another episode. Anyway guys, this has been Johnson for Sampu-Sampu. Thank you for watching. Arigatou gozaimashita. Kamsahamnida. Salamat po. See you again soon. Bye-bye.